What's?
Hey, we're doing the robot dance. What's going on?
I was doing the Dumb and Dumber pose. It's like one of my favorite moves. I just wish I had that bright, this color actually. Remember in the Dumb and Dumber, Jim Carrey's wearing that like ruffled tux.
Oh, his tux. Yeah,
and
the other one.
Jeff Daniels is wearing the
powder blue.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was the best movie ever back then.
Best movie ever back then. Yeah, it was a good one. Well, welcome. Great to have you today.
Hey guys.
Becky Fox here, visiting.
Yeah.
As always. Well, it's not even visiting. You're here so much.
I'm here like at least like a couple times a month. So,
yeah, sometimes more. And we're so glad to share this topic with you today because we haven't been talking enough about our rear ends lately. You know, I just felt like, that
backside.
part. The backside. We haven't been talking about the old keister that much lately. And really, I mean, on our channel, on this channel, we have literally hundreds of videos, that some of which you've made with other coaches, talking about the booty and the impact of properly training your butt, long-term health effects, how the butt affects other areas of the body, pain, discomfort, moving well, all of these things, right? There's so much about it. Because ultimately, none of us wants a
pancake butt.
Pancake butt.
Yeah.
And I have to say this because it's a great memory from when I was a little kid. I don't know, maybe it's not great. Maybe it's a scary memory from when I was a little kid. My grandfather, if you notice, older people, you just mimicked it like before we started. Like when old people walk, and I'm not trying to say, okay, let me be very kind, right? Older adults, mature adults, and then approaching like your senior year. So let's say north of 70 years old. What do you typically see is you see minimal lower body motion.
Yeah, very small
at
steps.
the hip, at the knee, at the ankle, right? Everything's kind of decreased. Mm-hmm. And what happens is, right, you're not engaging much of the musculature anymore. There's lack of stability, confidence, strength, right? All of these things. It really kind of starts at the hip and butt area, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I remember my grandfather, he was had a good, decent sense of humor, and he had a couple of too many drinks, and it was late when they were visiting or something, and they were staying the night. And I just remember him coming out to like say goodnight or whatever, and he kind of tipsy. And he would have tighty whities on, like, tighty whities, like, it's the 80s, right? So he had tighty whities, but they were actually loose tighty. Like, how is a tighty whitey loose? Like, it's just called tighty whities because they're tight.
Right.
But he had no butt.
No butt.
His back went to his legs. He was completely flat. And I just remember thinking like, oh man, I hope that doesn't happen to me, and I was like 7,
Butt. Yeah,
but
right.
I knew from a very young age, like, that's not what I want. I don't want a flat rear end. And a lot of the stuff that we talk about here when it comes to the rear end is funny, right? People want to laugh, like, oh, you're talking about the butt or whatever, but it's a serious, like, part of the body, especially for being athletic, being a professional athlete, being an elite athlete. Like, this is an area of the body that if it's deconditioned or not properly trained, like, it has major impact or ripple effect on every other part.
It's not just the vanity, like having a nice butt that looks good, but there's a lot attached to your butt, your back, your legs, your hips, like all that stuff, yeah.
Why do you think over the last 10, 15, 20 years, why has the butt become way more of a topic of conversation in our world, in our industry? I don't remember it being that in the 90s.
90s was all like the cardio.
Yeah, like doing aerobics, right?
Yeah.
And doing like spin classes and all that stuff, early 2000s. And I don't remember like the emphasis of training being so much centered around, especially for women.
Yeah, now it's like, well, you know what's funny? You kind of see things like cycle through too, right?
Yeah.
Like it's butt, and like who knows what'll be the next like thing that everybody wants to focus on, but there tends to be like even just cycles, like normal cycles. And
I guess you're right. Everything is cyclical, right?
Yeah.
Everything is. Things have their moment and then they go away like fanny packs. And then they start they start coming back. And you're like, oh, I should have saved mine.
I know, right?
I
Just saved all my stuff from the 80s. I could use it now.
That's what I'm saying. Every once in a while, I feel like I'm ahead of the times, but it's really just because I'm like 20 years behind.
Right?
So that happens.
Goodness.
So anyway, hey, before we get it, so what we're going to do today is we're going to highlight and feature a ton of different body weight, mini band, sliders, different exercises that really do a good job of targeting the butt, not just the legs necessarily. Because I think a lot of people get confused as to what's a leg exercise, what's a butt exercise, what's a both, and how can I place more emphasis on training my rear end, not necessarily my legs. Because I've heard this from women before. They're like, I have good legs, I have strong legs, like my legs are fine. I want to do more stuff that's just more for my butt. And I just always seem to feel my quads and not really feeling my butt. So we're going to show you some great exercises. Becky's going to demonstrate a bunch of these things in just a moment, because we have to show you our amazing Ralph the Mouth contest video, and you can win a $100 Amazon gift card today, along with some of these great free prizes, and be entered in to win our Halloween Spooktacular amazing grand prizes. So check this out, and we'll see you back here in just 2 minutes.
YouTube channel. It's the Halloween Mega Contest Spooktacular giveaway. We're giving away sliders. We're giving away jump ropes. We're giving away mini bands. Don't forget, we got shaker cups and recipe books too. And you too can be a winner, but it's for a limited time only, ending in October. While supplies last, claim your free gifts at the links below. Oh, but that's not all, because with every live stream, we're giving away $100 Amazon gift card. What? Click that notification bell so that you too can be a winner. Oh, but wait, there's more! When you click the link below to claim your free gift, you are automatically entered into a dream vacation for 2 Garmin smartwatches and a home gym with adjustable dumbbells and adjustable bench. Feeling the weight of the world on your shoulders? Maybe you need that dream vacation. You're running out of time. Act now and claim your free prize. Don't wait any longer. Jump right into the competition. Slide right on down to the links below to claim your free prize. Free! Free, free, free! Free, 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 free!
See that guy. Boy, is he so entertaining.
Ralph is so fun. Yeah.
Ralph's a great guy. He really is. He's family here at Critical Bench. Good old Ralph. Anyway, okay, so let's get in. We promised them some exercises that we want to show you that are more geared towards isolating and targeting the glutes rather than the focus being on the leg. So why don't you start with a body weight one, body weight movement.
So I like this, just hinging forward. So you're going to balance on one leg, and you're just going to reach your hands like towards your toe. So you're just not kicking things behind you. Just hinging down and up. Now we'll work your leg, but if you come, I think the key with this too is coming all the way up. So I see a lot of people, they're kind of like doing like this. So always coming all the way up. And what's cool about this is because your hips and like the side of your glutes, the back of your glutes is all working to help balance. So you can see I'm wobbling here a little bit.
Right.
So bringing it down and coming right back up.
That's one of the main responsibilities of the butt, of the glutes, is stabilizing the hips.
Yeah.
And that's what I think people don't realize when they're always doing two-legged activities. That's really going to, the emphasis is going to now be quad, hamstring, calves, everything else. When you start to pick a foot up and go single leg, whatever the exercise is, now all of a sudden you've turned on those glute muscles in a whole different way.
Yeah, because your glutes, a lot of what your glute is doing is keeping you from falling
That's
over, right?
That's
so
right.
yeah, so that's a really good one. Of course, evening out, making sure you're doing same number of reps on both sides for that one. And it's the same, right? So like we talked about single leg, right? You can do a squat, but just by literally taking it to a single leg, right now, it's causing your hips and your glutes to work more.
No doubt.
Because otherwise you're going to be twisting and turning and weebling and
Right.
and
That's
doing all these
actually
things.
one of my favorite, besides a single leg deadlift like you did or toe reach, is the partial like single leg. Now you don't have to do a full pistol because most people,
even
including
just a little
me,
bit.
can't do a good pistol squat unless I have a box underneath me or I'm starting from a seated and standing up.
Yeah, it's so hard, yeah.
It's so hard, but you can do the partial one and you can go leg forward or leg back.
Yeah,
it all
back.
depends, right? There's a couple different ways, but just working that top half, which is really, that's where the glute's doing all the work anyway.
Yeah, I can feel it.
And you can feel it right away, which is, that's when you're like, okay, that's the connection I think that people are wanting. When they train, they want to feel their rear end. But if they're like doing leg press, or they're doing barbell squats, right? Or they're a lot of those exercises, a traditional deadlift, they're like, why am I not feeling like, I know it's like, well, yeah, that glutes extend the hip, right? But when you got the 2 feet, again, it's like majority of the work is going to be through the legs. You're not going to feel the rear end. But you start picking that leg up, and then it's a whole new world with stuff.
And with this, so even if you're doing a single leg, or even if you were to do a regular squat, the key is sitting back in it too.
Yeah.
So it's not dropping into my knee. If you can see that, how my knee's coming way forward, that you're going to feel here. So part of this is you have to sit back into that move, and that's really going to make a difference. You could even use, this might be a little low for me to go, but even sitting your butt to a chair or something that gives you that target to know, hey, I'm going back. Even if you did do a regular squat, just literally sitting your hips back will engage your glutes more than if you kind of go into your knees more, which also is not great for the knees. That's a whole nother video. but so really sitting back into this move is going to help even more. And you'll know, because if you're feeling it here instead of here, you're doing that move wrong. So so sit it back. That's huge.
It is huge. Good point. Hey, let me give you, which color would you like?
Oh, let's do a blue one, I think.
A blue one,
Is
yeah.
one?
Blue will look great with that ensemble you got going on. Why don't you just showcase at least like 1 or 2 that you really like with a mini band? So obviously this is one of the free items that you can get in the description below, and enters you into the contest and makes you eligible for the $100 Amazon gift card, okay? So the mini bands, go get them for free, just pay shipping. You get a pack, all 5 colors, different resistances. And you can do, I mean, gosh, you can do 100 different exercises with a mini band.
Yeah.
But a lot of really good glute ones. What's one that kind of comes to mind for you?
Yeah, so one of my favorite ones, and you've probably seen me do these on some of the other YouTube videos, is just a side step, right? So we're always kind of thinking about the meaty part of our butt. But this little side part that hooks into our hips here is, again, key for the balance, right? Key for the balance, keeping our hips strong. It's like any muscle. We don't want to just work one little piece, right? We want to work the whole thing.
That's right.
So doing just side steps here is such a great exercise. And just keeping your toes forward, not rocking your body. It's not this.
Correct, right. No, you're right. Good spinal alignment. Really, all the emphasis is just, and you can, if you just put your hands on
you can feel
that
it.
part of your hips, when you're abducting your leg, you can feel all that muscle.
Yeah.
Sitting high up on the butt.
Right in there, yep.
And it's that lateral movement that a lot of us tend to distance ourselves from as we get older. And it's not, it's just because I think it's just a lack of awareness or being comfortable with, people have like a set routine, right? The same workout, same exercises. Maybe they switch the order or change the weights, but it's the same movements and motions over and over. And it's when you start to incorporate more side-to-side or lateral movements that are more athletic in nature, that athletes have to do. Because all athletes of any sport need to be able to move laterally really well.
Oh, yeah. Well, think
football, baseball, tennis, basketball, right?
Yeah, because so as you get older, right, you might be worried about tripping or slipping or something like that. So anytime you maybe trip or you fall, right, what do you do? Like, you're leaning into this other leg. So if you don't have any muscle there, right, you're more likely to go flying than if you have that stability in your the side of your glutes and your hips and your glutes to catch yourself.
That's right.
And if we're never doing movements like this and we go to fall and we do one of those, we're not, I mean, if that muscle hasn't been worked in 20 years, we're going to have some problems. Versus if you're doing stuff like this, right, you're going to, oh, I cut myself, I'm good, you know what I mean? So, yeah, so that's a good one if you do want to get the back part too, because you're like, no pancake bite here. A nice one you can do still standing is just, I like to just push and squeeze and just bring it in. So just kind of tapping back. The key here though is really like, sometimes you gotta really think about the muscle you're working to. It's easy just to be like da 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 da, you know. So push back, straighten out through your leg, and squeeze. Like, my butt's hard. I can feel the muscle working.
I would test that, just to verify, but that probably would not be appropriate. Yeah, I'm just putting that out there.
Just trust me.
I believe you, Becky.
So just a simple thing you can do there. And what you'll be surprised to find is this side, this other leg that's standing, I feel it in here. So we were talking about like the single leg deadlift, right? This leg's doing that same thing that we were doing there. It's trying to stabilize, it's trying to balance. So your glute is engaging here, even though we're also squeezing here. So it's kind of like a 2-for-1 here.
Yeah, that's why I like that one so much.
So it's a good one there. So it's really about focusing on squeezing through here all the way back versus just kind of going through the motions too. And of course, just like that, other side, same thing.
Can we hit the deck? You might as well keep the band. Can we hit the deck and maybe just go through a glute, glute bridge, like maybe a single leg glute bridge? Like, there's obviously lots of variations here. Even one of the ones I love is the step out glute bridge. When you're up in a glute bridge and you kind of do a wide step and then come back in. So there's a lot of different ways to add spice and variety to these kind of regular exercises. So I mean, you can just do a regular glute bridge with this by having, so you're already pushing out, like before I even lift off, I'm already keeping some tension on the band. So you don't want this, you don't want the band pushing you together. So you push out on the band a little bit, right? And just your basic move is going to be, straight up and down. But you're getting all that abduction, like you just said, by pushing the knees out, you're turning on muscles.
Yes.
That's the whole point, is to turn things on, to stimulate things. And again, now if you held that for a little while.
Yeah, that's a good burn too.
And then you could do full range of motion reps. So, right, you just kind of touching the
barely,
right. You could do holds, and you can also do pulses.
Oh, pulses.
Yeah, you could do pulses.
I like these. You push
could do this
out
where you're pushing out.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And now do the thing
you were talking about step?
Yeah, we're doing the step and then the step back in.
Yeah.
So now she's under tension. You're doing a hold, but then you're adding abduction to the hold.
Yeah.
So, I mean, talk about like light. Now you're really lighting those muscles up.
Yeah, and you can step that way.
You can step out,
different
and
challenges.
Come back in. Now you're getting a little hammy too, which is really good. Because a lot of us also, especially us men, we get so tight and so deconditioned in our hamstrings as we get older. So just anything like this. And then I love that. Do let's remove the band and then do like a single leg, a single leg glute bridge. And then we'll just show a few slider ones that are always good.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can put your foot here in the air, like what feels the most comfortable for you. Is probably the best way to go. Let me go this way so you guys can actually see what I'm doing.
Right.
But here, so for some people, crossing the foot and putting it on the knee is more comfortable, but you could also take it straight up. The key here is being able to, push through this one side. So now we're isolating one side. It is going to be harder. So if you're starting out, start with the 2 feet, but if you're ready to take it up a notch, that's where you can, you can even, there's different ways to hold your leg. It doesn't change this part a whole lot. It's more just kind of finding what's more comfortable for you.
Right.
But yeah, you're going to feel the glute. The hamstring's going to be firing off a little bit more here too. And I think the key here too is being able to lift all the way up. If it's too much where you're barely moving, it's not going to work as good. So being able to get all the way up, switching, of course, switching sides.
Right.
Same thing there. And you can do all the same stuff we just showed, right? So you can, move your feet.
That's right.
You can do all those little steps and stuff.
Right.
Making it harder without the band as well. So there's, glute bridges. You could put, I mean, weights on
Put
your
add
hips,
weight to your hips,
like
right? Dumbbell, medicine ball, whatever.
Yeah.
Now you got the sliders. Let's do a couple. What's cool is, again, now it's still very much the same stuff going on, but now you've added these sliders, so you can go out and
I've
in.
done like that, yeah.
That's
like
one of my
those.
favorites because what do you feel the most as you're doing these?
It's like definitely like from here all the way like to your knees.
Right.
It's like the whole backside.
All posterior muscles are
Yeah.
firing up now, right? So now you got a little bit of calf, a lot of hamstring. You want to do this obviously on a carpeted surface like this so that the slider has good movement, and just keep your heel right on like kind of dead
middle.
center.
Yeah, because it'll slide up.
Yeah,
if you
and go
don't,
nice,
so.
go nice and slow with it. But that's why I love these the sliders for some of these floor movements, because they're really safe, but they're intense.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, if you want to step up the intensity in your training, but do it in a safe way, mini bands, sliders, stuff like that are really simple, easy, inexpensive, because they're free, items to use. Is there anything else, any other exercise that we haven't shown that's in your
Trying
mind?
to think. Do you know another one with the slider? Trying to think of one.
Another one that I like, I'm trying to think with...
I don't use the sliders as
Yeah,
much, so
no,
I should practice more for sure.
Another one with the sliders, well, there's...
I stumped him.
No. There's a lot. I'm thinking standing ones that we.
Yeah.
Do you want to go back and show them the standing one with the sliders?
Yeah, there's a standing one I really like. Yeah. So I like the other one I like that's standing is side lunges for this, because when you push up out of the side lunge, right, you're going to use a lot more glutes. So I like to start here.
Yes.
So remember at the beginning we were talking about a lot of the single leg stuff, the sitting back into it. This is really going to create that lot of work on the one side and the sitting back. So really getting the glutes. So I really like the side lunges. So there. Right, so letting that slide out, come back up. So all the same stuff. We're stabilizing through the side. We're hitting the back of the glutes because it is kind of like a squat motion. All
I'm noticing, obviously, because I'm on your side, I can see you have a lot of hip hinge.
Yep.
Your emphasis is really on driving your butt back behind you and really extending that leg out as far as you feel you can go under control.
Yeah.
So this leg is your obviously main support leg. This is just kind of like a kickstand leg.
Yeah, this leg is not really you're not going to feel it as much in this leg. It's all this leg doing the work. This is just kind of helping you to sit to guide you down and sit you back.
But you get that opening.
Ooh, nice stretch.
Yeah, you get that with that abduction of the leg. You're getting all of that nice stretching effect too on the inner thigh.
Yeah.
Which is for a lot of people very tight, women and men included. Like, it's part of the reason why our hips and stuff, and we lose all that range of motion as we age. We're not doing that lateral motion at all anymore. It's intimidating to us. And then because we're so tight and weak, if we start to go out, it's like you feel like you're about on the verge of a strain, a cramp, or a pull. Yeah. And that's not a good place to be, especially, gosh, I see people younger and younger that seem to lose this kind of just natural athleticism that all of us have when we're younger. Yeah. And then it's just like when you get in your 20s, you move a little less. You get in your 30s, you move a little bit less again. And then it's just like compounded. And by the time you're like 50, it's like, oh, it's intimidating.
Yeah.
You know, to do this stuff. I mean, you've worked with lots of women over the years, you know? Yeah. And so any last thoughts that you have regarding
I mean,
glutes?
I was just going to share, because we were talking about the stretching, how this stretches your inner thighs, stretching your hips. This is going to be important for glutes too, because if we're so tight here, right, that you can't even stand up all the way, it's going to be really hard to fire your glutes. So keeping that loose, doing that exercise that lengthens that out and stretches that out, is going to actually help with your glutes. It might not seem like it, but it does, because then we can actually fire our glutes more because we have the flexibility in the front of our body to do that.
Yeah, no doubt. Thanks, Bex.
Yeah,
it's nice talking about, the butt with you. You know what I mean? We talk about a lot of things here at Critical Bench, but quite often it's about the glutes. And I'm glad we got to share that with you, and you've learned something. There's a good takeaway today. Hey, please go get your free stuff, okay? Yeah. Free jump ropes, free shaker cups and books, free sliders, free mini bands. They're in the description below. And this is the one and only Becky Fox. Go back and watch this again if you need to see what all those exercises are and start to implement those into your workouts. Hey, the crazy guy wants to talk at you again. Just to remind you about this amazing opportunity. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you soon.
YouTube channel. It's the Halloween Mega Contest Spooktacular giveaway. We're giving away sliders. We're giving away jump ropes. We're giving away mini bands. Don't forget, we got shaker cups and recipe books too. And you too can be a winner, but it's for a limited time only, ending in October. While supplies last, claim your free gifts at the links below. Oh, but that's not all, because with every live stream, we're giving away $100 Amazon gift card. What? Click that notification bell so that you too can be a winner. Oh, but wait, there's more! When you click the link below to claim your free gift, you are automatically entered into a dream vacation for 2 Garmin smartwatches and a home gym with adjustable dumbbells and adjustable bench. Feeling the weight of the world on your shoulders? Maybe you need that dream vacation. You're running out of time. Act now and claim your free prize. Don't wait any longer. Jump right into the competition. Slide right on down to the links below to claim your free prize. Free! Free, free, free! Free, free! Free, 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 free!